you've been searching for a video on how to create Shopify landing pages, and your search is over, because you're in the right place. In this video, I'll show you how to easily create Shopify landing pages for free using PageFly and ChatGPT. Hey, I'm Patrick from Code That Converts, and my goal is to help you get more traffic to your Shopify store, turn that traffic into sales so you can make more money and grow your business. As I said, I'll be showing you a step-by-step process on how you can easily create new landing pages for your Shopify store for free using ChatGPT and PageFly. And stick around to the end of the video because I'll be providing some bonus tips and resources that'll help you create landing pages that convert and lead to tons of sales for your Shopify store. As I'm sure you already know, in order to get people to buy your products, you need people to actually visit your Shopify store. And in my opinion, the most straightforward way to get people to visit your store is to either start creating helpful content for your target audience or to run ads. Regardless of whatever approach you use, at some point, you're going to need a landing page to either collect emails from your potential customers or to promote your products and offers. Many Shopify apps in the market allow you to build landing pages for your store, but in my opinion, the most popular and affordable Shopify app to do this is PageFly. And since PageFly has a free version that we can take advantage of, we'll be using that for this tutorial. And as I've alluded to, we'll also be using ChatGPT as our lovely assistant to help us get the ball rolling on creating content for this landing page. Lastly, before we get started, you can use my link in the video description to sign up for a PageFly account so you can follow along. And yes, if you've been wondering, PageFly is the sponsor of today's video. Rest assured, they're one of the best, if not the best, page builder app on the Shopify App Store. And I highly recommend you try them out, even beyond building simple landing pages. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing we're gonna do is we need to identify pain points that our customers are having, because if we're gonna make a landing page, we have to be able to speak to them about the problems they're having and present our products, our offer, or our lead magnet as a solution to that problem. So as you can see, the first window I have in here is of ChatGPT. Now for me, I decided to do this tutorial with an imaginary Shopify store that sells pet related products. For you, whatever your Shopify store is, just plug your niche into ChatGPT and you can ask it to give you a list of potential pain points the customer might be experiencing. You can see for me though, the first thing I typed in is give me some lead magnet ideas for a pet product niche. The idea I decided to go with was the one about creating a recipe book, pet food recipe booklet. And then the second thing I asked it was, I like the idea you gave me about a pet recipe booklet. Since you're an expert, what do you think are a few pain points that this pet food recipe booklet can address? And it gives me a list of pain points that I can use. Now, keep in mind that in order to give your customers the best experience with your brand, don't just use whatever ChatGPT gives you. Make sure you do some research yourself and you can confirm that these things are true before moving forward. Now, if you're using ChatGPT 4, it does have access to the internet, so the responses it gives you will be better, but just keep that in mind whenever you're doing this. You might also want to pass this through an expert that knows how to build landing pages and funnels just to check your work. Now, but it'll give you a list of pain points that you can use for your landing page. So at this point, I have a list of pain points and I have a bunch of lead magnet ideas that I like. As I said, I'm going with the pet food recipe booklet, but for you, whatever your store is, you just pick an idea that works best for you and that you think you could actually create. And the next thing I did was I asked ChatGPT to generate some starter content for me that I can use for this landing page. In this prompt here, you can see me asking ChatGPT to come up with some content for me, and I ask it to give me the content in table format. Now, this will work even better if you've done the research, you know what pain points your customers have, and you can insert some of those pain points in the ChatGPT prompt that asks it to generate the content to create exactly what you want for the page. And then from there, you read it over, you tweak it yourself until you have some content that you know for sure that you want to use for the landing page. Once you've done that, we can move on to the next step. Once you got the content exactly how you want it, we're gonna hop over to PageFly. So PageFly is a Shopify app that you can use to quickly put together landing pages for pretty much any page in a Shopify store. So if you click the link in the description, it's gonna take you to this Shopify App Store listing for PageFly. And they have a free account you can use. So I want you to go to the description, click the link, and get your free version of PageFly on your Shopify store right now. Once you've done that, we can continue to the next part of the video. Once you've got PageFly in your Shopify store and you follow all the processes that it takes you through, you should eventually land on a page that looks just like this one. This is the PageFly app admin dashboard, and this is where we'll start our journey on creating a landing page using PageFly. As you can see, I have a landing page set up here, but I created this landing page from a template. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to Pages, and you're just gonna click Regular Pages. It's gonna take you to this screen, and you're gonna press Create from Template. And you're gonna pick a template that works well for your Shopify store. For mine, I decided to go with the Mother's Day landing page template, which is right here. So we're gonna select a template, and this is the starting point that it gives you. So I'm gonna show you the version of the page I created right here. This is my version of the page. As you can see, it looks very similar to the other page from the template, but I made a bunch of tweaks to make it work for me. This is essentially the same thing you're gonna do for your Shopify store. Pick a template and you're gonna wanna make it work for you. Now, I'm not gonna go through all of the ways you can use PageFly to create a landing page because it's gonna make for a really long video, which I'm sure you don't wanna see. But I'm just gonna do a brief overview of the different tools and so you can figure out how this whole thing works. Okay, so how did I get from this to this? So as I've said, I reused the template from Mother's Day and I made my own changes. So as you can see, at the top level, I removed this section up here. Now this is good for you. You want a countdown timer, you can keep this. But for me, I didn't want one. So what I did was I clicked the show page outline and I clicked the top section, which is gonna be this section up here. And I clicked this right here and then press delete. You can also press delete from up here as well, but I prefer to do it here because you can see exactly what you're deleting. Let's say, for example, I wanted to delete the countdown timer only. I can go here and do delete. Countdown timer is gone. Let's say the heading, I didn't want to delete it, but I wanted to hide it on different devices. I can click this to hide it. Or I can go on the right side and say, hey, I want you to hide this on phones. So now if I click mobile, it'll be gone. If I go back to laptop, it's there again. Okay, but I wanted to delete the whole thing, so I'm gonna delete it. So this next section over here, I'm going to reuse the same headline that I did. Now, of course, you're gonna use the headline that makes sense for your Shopify store based on what ChatGPT generated for you. But for me, this is what I'm using. And it's too big, so what I wanna do is I wanna go into styling and I wanna make it smaller. I picked to make it 45 pixels in font. So I'm gonna go to styling and I'm going to change the font size to be 45. And I'm gonna change the subheading underneath. Click on this right here, take all this out, and I'm going to paste in the subheading. And then I'm gonna paste in that content underneath the subheading as well. All I'm doing here is I'm copying and pasting content from page that I wanted to use over into the template. I can show you how this whole thing works. So for the button, I wanna say, get your free recipe book now. Get your free recipe book now. It's just as easy as clicking on it and editing the content inside. And they give me a bunch of different options in here as well that I can use, but I'm not using that right now. And on the button itself, I can control what the button does. I can say, hey, when you click it, I want to redirect to a certain URL. I want to open a pop-up. I want to scroll to a specific section on the page. I want to send an email, call a phone number. Those are my options. Now, what would probably make the most sense for you is to pick the option scroll to section and have that scroll the customer all the way down to this section down here where they're gonna enter in their information for their lead magnet. But again, this depends on the kind of landing page you're doing. The kind of landing page that I created is like a top of the funnel kind of landing page to get the customer to opt into a certain email. But for your business, you might be sending the landing page traffic from Shopify customers or from customers that know about your brand and are ready to purchase. So for that, they might be ready to be sent directly to a product page from the landing page. But for me, as I've said, I'm creating a landing page for top of the funnel type of people who don't really know my brand that well. So the goal here is to give them a free lead magnet and to have them opt in with their email address so I can start sending them email messages to eventually prime them to buy an actual product from me. I need to change my image right here. So I'm going to click on the image. You can see that brings us to this first section inside of the column. As you can see, there's no image inside of this, but there's an image back here. How is this possible? This is possible because the image is in the background. So if I go to background image, I can select a new background image to use. I'm going to select one of the images of my dogs. Which one did I pick? I picked this one. Happy Pets. Boom. Just like that, we change the section. Now down here, I decided to go with 3 blocks and I changed the background color and everything like that. So what I'm gonna do here is at the level of the section on the left hand side, click on row, click on column, content list. You can see that there are 4 individual items. I'm going to delete one. Now I have 3. Now I can go in and I can copy over the sub headlines that I want to use for this section. Okay, and then I can change the actual content underneath the sub headlines as well in the same way. All right. Now, you might be wondering how I change the icons. This is how. I can literally click on the icon and I can then change it inside of here in general. I click select icons. It gives me a list of different icons I can use. I think I got this icon from the, which section did I get it from? I think I got it from medical health section. As you can see, I have a bunch of different icon options. I know I got it from this section, it's in here somewhere. Ah, here it is. Now, I don't want to bore you with searching for different icons, so I'll just pick a bunch of different ones from the same section, the medical health. I'll click one of a dog bone, and since I'm saying save the money, I'm gonna pick one from money. Okay, so that changed the icons. I also have the icons lined up in the center and that they're bigger. Let's go in and see how I did that. I changed the icon size to 57. And then I arranged it in the center. In order to arrange it in the center, you're gonna have to go over to the styling window in PageFly, and you're going to have to adjust the typography settings. Hold on. Alignment. So for your alignment, you're going to want to arrange it in the center. Yep, text alignment right here. Boom, center. Now it's important to understand that in order to arrange it in the center, I clicked on the content list item as a whole and adjust the text alignment. So I did it at the level of the content list item. I didn't go deeper into it at the level of icon or at the level of heading or paragraph. I did it at the content list item level. Now this is why I said if you have some design or CSS experience, this kind of thing is a bit easier. If not, you're gonna have to go in and kind of play around with it to see how everything works. All right, so I arranged everything in the center. How did I change the background color? So at the level of the section, I made the background color that deep green. Yep, you can see background color is right here. I made it that deep green. Well, let me see, what's the exact shade of green that I used? Let's see. RGB 28-103-89. So you can use the color picker on your end, but I know the exact code for the color I want to use. So I'm using that right here. And then I just change everything inside of here at the content list item level to be the color white. So for content color, I'm going to change it to the color white. Hold on, I think you might have to adjust it at the level of each individual thing. So let me do down here. This is also white. Icon, yes. Okay, I have to do it at the level of each specific element to make sure they inherit the colors properly. So I'm gonna go down here, and I'm gonna go to white. I'm gonna go to the heading as well, and go to white. I'm gonna also go to the paragraph element as well, and I'm gonna go to white. That's how I made them all the color white. So yeah, and you can notice that there's some slight spacing between the icon and the heading. In order to do that, what you can do is you can click on the icon either over here or on the left-hand menu on the side, and you're gonna wanna adjust the spacing. I added some additional margin spacing at the bottom. Cool, boom. And then for the next section of the page, I created a section called "Here's Why Your Pets Will Love These Recipes." And I added 2 images with a headline and paragraph copy. I think that was a custom element that I added in. So what you can do is, if you wanted to do that, you could close up all the sections here. You can click on this section right here, and you can click to add a new element. Now you can either add a design element from all the options PageFly gives you, or you can add a Shopify element directly from your Shopify store. You also have the option to add in third-party elements if you have third-party Shopify apps that connect well with PageFly. An example would be Klaviyo to do email marketing. And you can use other third-party applications as well to do a bunch of stuff. I recommend you go through all the different options and figure out what works best for you. Probably a good recommendation though is to use some kind of third-party application or app to do email marketing, because at the bottom here, there's going to be an opt-in form for the lead magnet. I recommend using an email marketing software that works well with PageFly that you can use so that whenever customers sign up for things, it'll automatically send them the lead magnet or whatever it is you want to send the customer based on the email they put in. All right, let's go back to the top over here. I'm going to show you how to add in that custom section. So right here, we're going to click add an element, and I'm going to add an element with this layout right here. You're just going to drag it from the page directly onto where you want to drop it in. Okay, so that created a new section. I'm going to delete this section right here. And then for this new section, at the level of each column, I have to drop in an element again. So what I want is I want to drop in, hold on. I want to drop in a content list. Actually, let's go back for 1 second. So I'm gonna undo what I did by pressing this undo icon right here. And when I drop in the section, I'm going to do it a little differently. Instead of dropping in the layout, I'm gonna drop in the content list directly. Just drag and drop exactly where you want it to be. And then boom, it's right here. So I'm gonna go back over here and I'm going to delete this. I have the content list right here, where I have the image followed by the paragraph, a heading, and a subheading. So if I click into the content list here, I have the options in general. I want to delete one of them because I only want 2. So I'm gonna click here and I'm going to click the icon to delete it. So now I have 2. Similar to what I have here. And then you can go in and you can add in your images, your copy, your heading, and your subtitle, right? Now, if you're wondering how I was able to get these 2 to take up so much space on the screen, I can show you how to do that as well right now. What you're actually gonna do is you're gonna click on content list, and at the level of content list, in general settings, there's an option called items per row. You're gonna change 3 to 2. And just like that, it's taking up more space. So from there, you can enter in an image that you want. You can select an image you already have or upload an image from your computer, and you can select an image, put your copy. For the copy, you're gonna wanna make sure that whatever font style you're using, for other pieces of stuff on the page, you're using the same font style. So I'm using Mulish. We'll go back in over here and I'm going to find Mulish. Hold on. Well, I don't have the Mulish font setting in here for some reason, but essentially you're gonna wanna make sure that you're matching whatever typography, font styles from the heading and the paragraph to the other pieces of content on the page. General rule of thumb, you wanna make sure all the headings have the same font style and all the paragraph elements have the same font style. Okay, and then in this next section down here, you can see I pretty much left it the way that it was. I just replaced the images and then replaced the copy inside of here. And then I got rid of that what your customers say section and the finals on Instagram section. Again, to get rid of stuff, all you're gonna do is you're gonna click on it either over here or on the left-hand side, and you're going to click delete here or click delete here, the trash icon, and it'll get rid of it. I got rid of all these sections because I didn't think I needed it. And then I just updated the bottom section down here. Now, I didn't change the opt-in form because I'm not actually gonna use this landing page. This is just a tutorial. But for you, when you do this, you're gonna wanna set up some kind of email marketing software so that whenever customers opt in to a specific list, an automation will do something. So for this type of landing page, since we're sending them a lead magnet, whenever somebody opts in, you're gonna have the email marketing software send them a copy of your lead magnet. Now there are a bunch of different softwares in the market you can use, but inside of here, the ones that I've seen are stuff like MailChimp, Klaviyo, I think Seguno, Avada. Just pick something that you know you can use for your specific purposes. Okay, so I showed you how I built certain pieces of the page. You're gonna wanna go in and you're gonna wanna build the page exactly to what you envision it should be, regardless of whatever landing page template you use. Once you're satisfied with the way it looks, there's one more piece I wanna mention. Where are you gonna find images? So if you have your own images you can use already, that's great. You can use them. If not, you're gonna wanna use other platforms to get your images. I recommend using platforms like unsplash.com to find images. Maybe you can also use pexels.com to find images. You can also use pixabay.com to find free images. All these images on these platforms are free to use for commercial purposes, but if you want to take it a step further, you can also buy stock images or even go as far as to pay a product photographer to help you out. Either way, the point is, for a landing page, you want to make sure you have very high quality images that you use to improve your customer's experience. Okay, so I gave you a basic overview of how to use PageFly. If you want to learn more, and you should want to learn more, there's a link over here inside of the PageFly tool called View Documentation. It'll take you to helpful documentation on PageFly to figure out how to use all the different pieces of it. Once you're fully satisfied with the way your page looks, you're gonna click Save. I already clicked it, which is why it doesn't say save, but you're gonna click save and it's gonna have a publish button right here. You're gonna click publish and boom, you're done. Your page is live on your Shopify store. Just to make sure it worked, you're going to hop over to your store's admin, go to online store and go to pages. You should see the new page from PageFly created on your store and click view page, and yeah, the page is real. So congratulations, you did it. And just like that, you now have a new landing page for your Shopify store. Now, I don't know if you remember, but at the beginning of the video, I promised you some tips and resources to help you out with creating landing pages. I'm a man of my word, so here we go. The first tip I can give you is to spend as much time as you can identifying pain points your audience has. Coming up with content for your landing page that resonates with your audience's feeling is probably the most important part of creating a landing page in the first place. So make sure you spend time on this. As for tip number 2, you need to learn how to run A/B split tests to test the performance of your landing page. This is very important to figure out the best offers to offer on your landing page. Tip number 3, come up with an initial version of your page and hand it off to an expert on Fiverr to help you finalize it. Just find someone who has experience building landing pages and funnels and make sure they have good reviews before hiring them. Tip number 4, track the performance of your landing page. page. PageFly provides you with some basic analytics tools you can use to do this, but I recommend you get set up on Google Analytics and learn how to use it to track the performance of any landing pages you put out. Side note, I'll be putting out a bunch of videos on Google Analytics in the future, so stay tuned for that. And as far as resources are concerned, check out the description of the video for a link to my website. Click on the link, and when you get to the page, grab a free copy of all the ChatGPT prompts I used for this video. You can use the prompts to get started whenever you're making new landing pages for your Shopify store. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. I have a bunch of awesome content coming out in a few months that'll help you take your Shopify business to the next level. So I'd hate for you to miss out. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.